I believe in you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, yeah. I believe in you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, yeah. Let's stay here for a lifetime underneath the moonlight, 'cause I don't want us to go. No, I don't want us to go. Yeah, you could be my lifeline, you could be my sunshine in a world so full of pain. Can you make it go away? It used to be so sad that love was lost, but now it's here to stay. Yeah, I used to be uncomfortable, but look at me today. Never thought I'd find someone like you, someone to show the way. But now I know you're the answer to my prayer. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, yeah. I believe in you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, yeah. I'm sorry for the burden, sorry I was hurting, but my scars are almost healed. Yeah, my scars are almost healed. Yeah, I'm feeling like a child now. Everything's alright now, and it's all because of you. You made the flower in me bloom. Used to be afraid of everything, but now there's no more fear. Yeah, I used to let nobody in and hide my face with tears. Always thought of you as someone who can love someone like me, but I was wrong. Maybe now I believe. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, yeah. I believe in you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, yeah. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something us. I believe in you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me.
Hey, 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 happy Friday. Hey, hey.
You, me, you, me, you, me, you, me,
Hey, hey. 3, 2, 1. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Danae Show. I am Danielle Danea, aka Danny Danea, and I've got a lot to say. But before we get into it, you guys, just so you guys know, I'm a little under the weather. I don't know if you guys can tell, my voice is not all the way there. I'm hiding it, I think, very well. But yeah, I was like, I still got to come up and do this show. I got to come to work because I talk about, showing up for our people, showing up for our community. So I was like, I got to show up for my community of people on YouTube. So yeah, I'm here. So if you hear it, like I said, a little cough in my voice, just know that's what it is. But yeah, today, guys, we are going to be talking about appreciation for actors. my newfounded appreciation for actors. I've always had an appreciation for actors, but it's a little deeper now because I didn't realize how much skill it takes to be a great actor. Now, living in Los Angeles, there's a lot of actors out here, but they're not the greatest. And it's like, okay. And a lot of the times, they're Nepo babies or, I hate to say it, maybe a DEI hire or something like that. And that's why they're on, like, not that great of actors are on the big screen. But I'm speaking specifically about the actors that make you believe everything they say. They make you want to cry. They make you want to be angry in the moment because they're angry. Those are the actors that have the greatest skill, because you know how hard it is to get into a character that's not like you, or even to, get into a character who's like you, but then, play it in the way that director wants you to play it. Like, it's so crazy. I'll be on TikTok or YouTube even, and there's all this advice on how to do great acting, and you'll hear one thing from one person and another thing from another person, and they'll be completely different types of advice. And I'm just like, yo, and I used to think, wait, who is telling the truth? But the fact is, both things can be true at once. You just got to know when to use which skill at what time. And that's a skill in its own. You could be a really good person. You could be a really good actor when it comes to playing someone else. But when it comes to you doing self-tapes and, a director asking how you would portray a certain character yourself, people aren't that good at that, or vice versa. They're better at playing roles that are like them, they can relate to and, put their spin on whatever the director describes a character as. But then when they got to transition to somebody else, when they got to do like something like a biopic or a documentary, it's really tough for them. And that's usually the case because you're literally transitioning into someone else. You're putting your little flair on it. But other than that, it's like, yo, you see these actors, you hear about these actors all the time that, study people they're portraying in a movie or short film or whatever. They study them. They become them. They pick up their habits. They learn their mannerisms, their facial expressions. And that takes work, guys. I'm just like, yo, and like I said, I'm getting into realizing how, hard that is now that I'm really, if you guys don't know, I'm a model and actress. But now I'm transitioning kind of into more like serious roles, short films and movies, period, where before I was doing like more commercials and playing smaller roles like a nurse or something, something easy stuff to play, supporting roles, where now I'm auditioning for more, main roles. So yeah, I was like, oh, I'm taking these classes. I'm like, this is intense. Like, crying on demand is not easy. You have to put yourself in a place that, makes you want to cry. It can be dark sometimes. If you ask a lot of actors and actresses, they'll tell you like they have to go to a really hard place in their life in order to get to that state of mind. And with me, I grew up very, very great. I didn't really experience any hardships. All the hardships I kind of experienced were because of me. There was nothing that was hard, that was out of my control, that was super difficult that I had to overcome. So it's more difficult for me to get to that state. But I'm willing to work at it because, I love this profession. I love Hollywood. But yeah, that's why I wanted to make this video, because I realized how hard it is. And I got to shout out the actors who are making it and doing the dang thing. And, just practicing if they're not that good at it, over and over again. If they feel like they're not doing as good as other people, they stick with it. So shout out to you guys. Like I said, there's a distinction between doing a self-tape and, trying to auditioning to look like someone else. So for a self-tape, predominantly directors want to see what you would do in the situation. Even though they break down the description, they want to see like a little bit of your personality. Because obviously if everybody did the role the exact same way, it would be so hard for them to pick and choose who to cast for whatever project they're casting for. They want to see You show, like I said, showcase who you are, what you would do in a situation. Would you, in a scene where you're being disrespected, would you get all upset, or would you remain stoic and calm and speak in a manner that, you know, is very peaceful? They want to see that. They want to see who you are, but obviously they want you in lines of this character, right? And they break down the character. If you guys don't know, in acting, on Actors Access or casting networks or Backstage, whatever, these are all websites where they post projects. Excuse me, guys. And they send you a breakdown of the character, and if there's more than one character, they'll send all the characters, and you submit to the ones you feel like you are best for, or just want to submit for. And then they break down the character. They show you the age range, what they're about, how they look, all that other good stuff. So when you submit, they ask for a self-tape, and usually they want it a minute or so long, not too long. Well, it really depends on the project, but typically it's very short. And in that short time, you gotta be able to catch the casting director, or not the casting director. Well, it depends, but I'm pretty sure usually the casting director is just the mailman person that sends off whatever tapes you send in. But whoever you're sending this to, you got to impress them in this little short time, whether that's you doing something unexpected or you doing something a little unique. And it's crazy because you got to also be careful not to do something too crazy, that it throws off the whole character, the whole scene. Like, this is something so outlandish that it doesn't mesh well with what's actually happening. You got to be mindful of that. So it's so many factors, guys. It's so many factors that go into this that people don't realize. You gotta have discernment to know when enough is enough and when to go the extra mile. So yeah, again, self-tapes, you do what you would do, and you make it look natural. And you think that would be easy. But the thing about acting is usually when a lot of people get into acting, they overact. And they they make it look uncomfortable. They look like they're trying too hard. And casting directors can peep that within an instant. It's like, no, this is not good. And like I said, when you look like you're trying too hard, it shows that maybe you need a little more practice. And it's hard. Again, it's hard to do that. But you gotta act like I said, you gotta act like yourself. There's a little bit of effort in the acting. You gotta dramatize kind of maybe sometimes how you react or how you talk. You gotta be a little louder so people can hear you and stuff like that. Little minor tweaks, but completely shifting who you are to a point where you look crazy. You look like you're struggling. It can be really bad for you. It can be a really bad look. So you got to come off authentic. You got to make it look not forced. If it does look forced or inauthentic, again, they're not going to hire you. And these are specifically, guys, for self-tapes and monologues. Because the thing is, I even made this mistake starting out. On these actors' websites, they'll ask to see a video reel or an introduction video or a testimonial video, and you have to make sure when you're recording a monologue and it's from a movie well known, you have to make sure you don't act like the actor in that monologue. That's a mistake a lot of people make. They try to be like the person they're watching instead of doing it the way they should do it, and then it doesn't have the same effect that person thinks it does. It never does. When you're trying to be somebody that you're totally not, again, it never works, guys. People can spot inauthenticity, and it's not a good look. So look at the scene, look at the mannerisms, look at the facial expressions, look at what the person is doing, but do it in a way that you would do it. Again, it's hard. It's so hard. But again, you got to put your spin on it, because these big time actors, you'll notice a lot of times when you print out a script, they put their flair on it. They don't say the script exactly how it is. They throw words in there. They might combine sentences together, and they put their distinction. That's what makes them great actors. That's what makes people like them as opposed to another actor. But also, again, you have to be mindful when you're just starting out, though. And even if you're a bigger name, but this is more when you're starting out, you can't go too off script, because again, you haven't developed that reputation and have that. I would just say you're not on the same level. I don't know how to say it any nicer. I'm trying to think of a way to say it a little better, but you're not on their level, so you can't get away with doing the same things Taraji P. Henson or Anne Hathaway could get away doing. You gotta go on the strip as much as possible, or if you do go off strip, make sure it's good. Make sure it's good. Make sure you're believable. That's all I can really say about that. Yeah, big actors do the lines how they would do it, and it works almost every single time. I bet you Denzel Washington goes off script all the time. Anthony Hopkins, guys, he is my favorite actor right now. I'm just obsessed. I believe everything he says. Same with Denzel, but it's just something about Anthony Hopkins' eyes that gets me every time. Yeah, I just can't get over him. I'm like, oh, he's so great. Yeah, I mentioned you have to shift a little when playing a documentary. You have to study that person. I am sick, Nick. I see your comment. I'm very sick. I mentioned earlier. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to hang in here. But yeah, I am gonna go home after this and get a little bit better. So by Monday, I sound way better. But thank you for asking. I am okay. I'm just a little in the throat. But yeah, like I said, when you study somebody you're portraying in a big film, and usually you don't play documentaries until you're an established name. So yeah, I'm still speaking about the big time celebrities that do this, that do documentaries. Like I said, they study the person. And that's why, I know you guys have probably seen Malcolm X, played by Denzel Washington. Maybe it's called X, I forget. But Denzel Washington plays Malcolm X. And he's so good, because you watch Malcolm X's speeches and how he moves, and the glasses he's wearing, the hair color, all those details, that credits to makeup and stuff. But it was also the way he spoke, the way he looked at people when he spoke, the way he walked. These are things that are studied religiously. And if you're not willing to put in the work, the hours, the sleepless nights, you're not going to be as successful as you think you are. You gotta put in the work. That's why these actors are paid millions. It's not just, they show up, learn the script, and deliver. There's so much that goes behind the scenes, guys, that really helps them embody whatever character they're playing. Yeah, you become the best. I said that you become the best. When you become them, and a little bit of you to set yourself apart. Again, there's like little phrases that Denzel Washington will always say that people can quote. Like he says, all right. I think I haven't seen a Denzel Washington that much, but in a while, but he says certain words that people know. Like if someone said it just out the blue, people are like, oh yeah, that's Denzel's line. That's Denzel's line. That's something, you want to develop over time. Figure out what your thing is. It doesn't have to be a line. It could be just something you do with your face. There's a lot of people that do facial expressions that I'll mention later. I'll mention some actor later that I think does amazing facial expressions. But yeah, you just can give a death stare or, a curse of your lip. Like that is significant in so many ways. And yeah, you just got to learn your thing, figure it out, make it work for you. People seem to like it. If you notice, the thing about acting, you'll submit to a bunch of projects and you might not hear back from a bunch of projects. It's the same. You might not hear back from a lot of those projects. It's the same with modeling. But typically, if you notice, like, if you send a monologue out or a self-tape out that seems to work a lot and you do the same things in those self-tapes and you're getting traction and the ones you do get a response back, they seem to like that, and it's from that one self-tape, notice you're doing something in there that is you're making yourself stand out. So figure out what that is. Ask if you can. Sometimes, I don't know, I say be careful with that because, again, I don't know, you just don't want to seem like you don't know what you're doing. Sometimes know how to ask it in a way that, people, if you're going to ask it, that people will respond and be like, oh yeah, you did this, and this is what we really liked about you. So yeah, it's all about, it's so much. Another factor that goes into why a lot of people make it, aside from the NEFO babies, right, and the DEI hires I mentioned, they know what to do in the right. It comes with so much wisdom, guys. And if you notice, the best actors of all time, like, they've been acting for years and years. And they weren't the greatest actors when they first started out. They were good. Or something. Denzel Washington and Anthony Hopkins have a little pass. I think they were always good, but I think they got better over time, and they'll even say they got better with certain things over time that we're not privy to, or we don't really see. We just see how good they are. But they know they got better over time because it takes experience. It takes you being in the industry for a little while to understand how people think, what they want from you, and what an audience will want to see as well. Because there's some scripts that it's like, it's like, I gotta play this script, and actors are like, I don't know if I want to play this, but they make it work for them. And if any other actor did the same role that they did, they wouldn't deliver it. I'm talking about the big actors. If any other actor that wasn't as monumental or as talented as the actor that got it, it wouldn't have landed the same for a lot of people. People don't realize, like, movies can hit or miss based on who's playing the role. Like, trust me, like, writing could be messed up. A storyline could be so messed up, but if the right actor plays it, it makes people want to just tune in. Like, I'm not even, Gladiator was not that great. Gladiator 2, pardon me. The first one was really good. The second one just came out with Denzel Washington, and I wasn't a big fan of it. I am not going to lie. I did not find it to be really good, but I went to go see it because Denzel Washington was in it, right? So yeah, when you get to that level, I remember he also sent an audition, or pardon me, not audition, scratch that. He said in an interview that he hasn't gotten an audition since he won Oscar, which made total sense. It was like not an audition. I think that was 40 years ago where he won his first Oscar. I might be wrong. I think he said that about 40 when he won his award. But yeah, when you're that good, man, you can do whatever and people will rock with you. But it's starting out, and a lot of people, a lot of models transitioning into actors like me, you have developed that reputation initially, and you got to be very mindful of the roles you take early on because they determine the roles you're going to get later on. That was another thing Denzel Washington said in an interview. He was like, someone offered him a job to play, I mentioned this in my other video, to play a slave role. And I don't know if it was his manager or someone else as in his ear, or maybe just he decided on his own. I forget. It was such an old interview. Or maybe not that old, but I've seen so many videos since then. And he was like, no, I can't do it because I don't want to be remembered as the guy that played the good old slave. And now I'm typecasted now. I only get booked for slave roles. Like, that's something a lot of people get caught up in and make as a mistake early on. They're like, oh, I got this big, and they'll be so psyched because it'll be a movie by a big director with other big actors. And they'll be like, but this is a good look for my career. But you don't want to get caught up in something like that if you haven't really developed a reputation for yourself yet. That makes sense. there was another actor that was in Bridgerton, the guy that was in the first season, lighter skin, black, super handsome, and he didn't come back for any of the other Bridgerton seasons. And there's a show on Netflix if you want to look it up. But I think he said to himself, he was like, he didn't want to get typecasted. If he continued to be in every season after that, you know, people would be just like, oh, you're the guy from Bridgerton, instead of other projects he's been in. He's been in, I think I've seen him in, you know, more serious roles. Where he plays like a villain like type. It's like some type of heist type vibe. I don't know. But yeah, you got to be very mindful of how you're moving. And that's really in every profession. That's really, yeah, something so big in Hollywood, because so many women especially move crazy and accept roles that they do not need to be accepting, that make them look very bad. And and maybe not even bad. It just, again, you're just known for that one look. So no one wants to hire you for anything else. And you never want to be typecast like that, especially not starting off. So give variety in your auditions, accept a variety of different projects. Now, this is only if you want to do acting long term. If you're really serious about acting. If you're not and you want to play the cute little roles like I was initially doing, playing the nurse, playing the girlfriend. I even booked a role where I was playing a model. And they're like, we need you to act like a runway model, superstar. And I was like, oh. So I didn't really have to act for that because I already have the mannerisms and stuff like that as well. But yeah, if you want to continue doing those roles, shout out to you. This is for, you know, if you want to be really taken seriously in the industry, and just to give you guys knowledge on what goes on behind closed doors, what I've heard, what I've seen. I'm friends with big actors. I'm friends with Jamie Foxx. He's great. And yeah, they speak, you know, Jamie Foxx tells great stories, and I've heard a bunch of things. So yeah, you just got to be really mindful of what type of actor you want to be and what to do in specific situations to make you stand out from other aspiring actors or actual actors. So yeah, it's so crazy. In monologues, it's not even about just studying mannerisms and body language, the tone in the actor's voice, how it gradually increases when the tension builds up and the lines go a little bit longer, or it gradually declines as, you know, if somebody gets insecure and, you know, shuts down. You got to pay attention to those type of things, and know when to get loud, when to get soft, because another thing a lot of actors mess up with is they're very monotone in their delivery when it comes to their script. And it's just like, oh no, you have to, either they're monotone, it's two extremes, either they're monotone or they're super aggressive. It is just like, no, you gotta know when to show just the right amount of emotion, when to gradually increase your tone and emotion, when to decrease it. Like, again, so much goes into it, guys, that I didn't realize until I started studying this stuff. I started taking very serious acting classes. So yeah, again, very, very difficult if this is not something you're used to doing. It's a job. It's another job of mine, adding to the list of getting to understand this industry. Because again, if it's not naturally in you, like there's some actors that are just naturally good at acting. They've acted their whole lives. I tell people acting should be easy for me. I act like I like people all the time, but no, there's just people that, you know, live in a are used to, you know, playing a character and have done it for so long. Child actors that become adult actors, it's just second nature to them. But for someone like me who, it's hard transitioning to another character, because I'm me. I'm me 100%. There's a lot of different sides to me, but you know, it's hard to completely transition into a whole other thing while still being a whole other persona while still trying to be me. Yeah. things. And if you wonder what I'm talking about when it comes to like body language and little mannerisms, like, I don't know, just wiping your nose or sniffling when you're remembering to do that when you're crying, or when you're angry, your lip kind of quivers maybe when you talk, little stuff like that. When you're blushing, when you're embarrassed or overwhelmed or flustered, all that stuff, guys. Those are all examples of, you know, things you gotta pay attention and learn how to do in really intense moments and really intense dialogue. You gotta learn it. And again, you think it's easy, but when you're playing a role, it's like when you're in front of somebody and you're playing like you're so angry at them or upset or hurt, and you're really not. It's like you love this person, y'all giggle and stuff offset. It's tough getting into that character again. You have to literally go to a place where you're feeling what the character you're playing is feeling, and deliver again, such a skill. And so I mentioned I was going to share with you guys some examples of some good ooh, this sickness, gosh, I never get sick, guys, but I made the mistake. Well, it's not a mistake. I went to go see my man after work yesterday, and he's sick, and he told me to stay away from him so he wouldn't get me sick, but I wanted to take care of him because he took care of me when I was sick when I got back from Mexico, and I caught that bug. He caught it right after me, so I brought him some soup, and yeah, I cleaned up around his house. And yeah, I put little notes. I love writing little love notes for him before I leave. And I did his laundry and all that. But when I started to feel a little itch in my throat, I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, I gotta go. Took a hot shower when I got home, but it stinks. Anyways, back to the examples, guys. So Denzel Washington will do something when he's super upset or feels super disrespected in a scene. And it's so funny because Jamie Foxx actually imitated Denzel Washington. He did it so great. He was sitting with Denzel Washington and he was like, okay, you play me. Told Jamie to play him. And he was like, you get your hands off of me. If you look it up, Jamie playing Denzel, you'll see it on YouTube. And Jamie goes, you get your hands off of me. And he does this angry face and does this like lip moves with his lips closed. It's so spot on to how Denzel looks in his movies. It was crazy. In fact, that Jamie Foxx is known for doing very, very, very good impressions of other celebrities. But yeah, nothing like when Denzel does it. You believe him. I don't know. It's like, oh, I don't know, that little lip quiver. That lip movement just makes you believe whatever he's going through to be true. Any actor that can make you believe the things they're saying without a doubt, or like, oh, this looks forced or this looks weird, they're one of the greats. Because too many movies today, I'm like, oh, this looks so stupid. This is so fake. I miss the movies of the 90s and the early 2000s and 60s even, because it was real acting, it was real skill. Again, now I don't know, it looks fake. I also hate when I see movies that have like text messages on the screen. They're showing the bubbles. Like, I hate that. Like, I get we live in a time where people text and we have iPhones and stuff, but seeing it on the screen is just very corny to me. And any movie that had that in it wasn't good. Any and every movie that had that in there was not good. So yeah, I'm like, ugh, take us back to the young Denzel times, those type of movies. Devil in the Blue Dress, Training Day, all those movies, like, iconic. You don't see movies like that today, and it's really sad, but I appreciate that I can still watch them whenever I can. I can buy them on Prime. Anyways, Denzel Washington, lips moving, that's one. And then Meryl Streep, the iconic stare down she gives. She gives like this crazy, remember I mentioned earlier, like, if you have an iconic look in your eyes, that makes people be like, oh shit, like, want to pay attention. Oh, pardon me, I'm not supposed to be cussing. Get it together, Danielle. Makes you go like, oh crap. when you see them look at you. Like, she has that, the Devil Wears Prada. The way she would just look at people she was disgusted with. Iconic. Iconic. And there was even, and she did it again, the 2007 Academy Awards. I think they were giving an award to Devil Wears Prada. I think it came out in 2006, 2007. And Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt, who were both in the movie, were, I think, about to give an award to someone, maybe to their movie. And she did the stare down again. They were like, oh, they're acting nervous and stuff, how they did in the movies, like trying to please her, trying to be nice. And instead, Meryl Streep just gave this death stare to the both of them. Again, iconic. Again, so great. And then Anthony Hopkins, he just has he has this conviction in his tone that just makes you believe the stuff he says. I think both Denzel Washington and Meryl Streep have it too, but it's 10 times better for Anthony Hopkins. Again, I might be a little biased because I'm just a big, big fan. But it's just something in the way he talks, the way he says words that make you be like, oh, snap. The confidence and it's just the confidence. I can't think of another word. It's just like, dang. And he's so articulate, too. And shout out to his scripts that are being written. But I follow him on Instagram, and I like to watch his little videos he makes of himself on Instagram, and you can tell like he's a very smart individual. A lot of his self is in his roles, and he's very smart, very confident in the way that he speaks, and friendly and wise. Which is just a great combination of a decent human being, let alone a great character traits of a great actor, let alone a decent human being. So, yeah, those are my takes on that, guys. If you want to get into acting again, it's tough because we aren't meant to act. I really believe God is like looking at Hollywood and it's just like, this is crazy because you're literally, again, it's so weird. We normalize it now because of Hollywood and these great movies, but imagine playing different characters all the time. Like, you would end up like, realistically, you weren't ground enough in your family or your beliefs. That could mess you up mentally, psychologically, and have you all over the place trying to understand who you really are when playing all these different roles your whole life. Because when you do these studyings of people and playing their characters and copying their mannerisms, you can probably subconsciously adapt them, consciously and subconsciously adapt those because you do it for so long. People go years studying somebody and then do the movie, which takes another year and a half or so. So that's a lot to go through in a long period of time. So yeah, you see all these actors committing suicide and going insane, and it's really sad to look at. But the ones that stick through it, have their wives, are grounded human beings, have faith they believe in. I notice a lot of celebrities who are really deep in their faith really thrive because, they have an understanding with a higher power. So they feel like they have a purpose, but, actors can easily feel like they don't have purpose if they don't have the right people in their life. So yeah, I don't think we're meant to do it, but I'm appreciative in the same breath for the ones that do it and do it oh so well. And that's all I have to say about that. So again, we appreciate you actors. I appreciate you guys. I am taking notes every day to become closer to my dreams of being Princess Tiana in the remake. I just put it out there, but it's coming, guys. It's going to happen. I'm going to play her one day soon because I realized. Did you guys realize, like, they've done remakes of Snow White, they've done remakes of Sleeping Beauty, they've done remakes of Cinderella, but they've never done a remake of Princess Tiana. Now, I know it's kind of new, But I looked at Princess Tiana, Princess and the Frog, pardon me, came out in 2008, 2009. I was 11 years old. So yeah, it's time. It's time. And I'm going to play her. I'm putting it out there in the universe. It's going to happen. I can sing, I can dance. It's just a matter of me getting that Southern accent. Southern accent. Lord, Jesus, Danielle, you're getting it past because I know you don't feel well. But Southern accent. And it's crazy. I'm from Virginia. But the Deep South has a deep accent. You don't really hear my Virginia accent because, for one, I've been in Los Angeles too long. Two, again, Virginia is like the South, but not the Deep South. But I got time. I'm working at it every single day. Anyways, guys, that's all I have to say about that. I love you amazing actors out there and you aspiring actors. Keep at it. You'll make it if you really want to. All right. Please like this video. If you like this video, please comment always. I love to hear you guys' opinions. And subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys on Monday. All right. Bye.
Aquel día el instinto nos decía que esa noche juntico no quería, que las ganas bebé nos ganaría, pero no fue así. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos a jugar. Ella sabe que quiero a mi mamacita. Ella también quiere que seamos felices. Ella, la que se apresura a la vueltica. Ella es sin timidez. Como la ves no le importa dónde y cuándo. Pero nada no es, yo no soy el que la mando. Nunca lo seré, su carácter no es de niña, que la puede controlar cualquiera. Y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás, y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos los 7 días de la semana. Te doy de mañana y consejos sabes que no es. Te doy el desquite, que me quites todas esas ganas